Hey guys, what's going on? We are on Route 36 today, and we're going to take it slow because the last episode was all about speeding up battles. And truthfully, I'm sure that some people would like to see the battle at a normal speed with the real music and hear the sound effects of the Pokemon. So we're going to take it slow for this episode and play the battles all at full speed. So interesting mixed response from having an intro, a new intro, because I did have an intro before, but I just revamped it, made it a bit fancier, more enjoyable, and pumping to get you pumped for the episode. Got some mixed reviews with that. Some people like the whole intro thing, some don't. And really, if you don't like it, you could just skip to point 40 in the video, because it's only 40 seconds long. And then you'll get right to the content, the episode of Crystal. Mr. Poof is definitely much stronger now that he's evolved. Before, working with Hoppip, it's almost practically impossible to have it gain experience all on its own versing trainers, unless you do a lot of spamming out in the grass first, or evolve your Hoppip like I did to Skiploom. And I still want to keep spamming experience here. That's easy to do for Mr. Poof, because his final evolution, Skiploom, is one of my favorites. And surprisingly, I've never actually used him on any quest during the RPG main series, or on the metagame. I think I'd never used him on the metagame because even though he's freaking adorable, Jumpluff, that's the final evolution, just for any people who don't know, I think he's adorable, floating around in the breezes with his cotton poof hands and antenna, I guess you could call it. And the only problem is he's too weak when it comes to metagame. He doesn't have the right stats. So that's why I definitely wanted to take this walkthrough to show him off. Kadabra! One of those tricky trade Pokemon that we won't be raising in this Let's Play, because I can't trade with an emulator. I thought about having the trade cheat for my other walkthrough, the black walkthrough, as a possibility for evolving Girder, but I realized that it is a pretty cool challenge to keep my Pokemon kind of under-evolved, at least some of them, so I'll be going with that. Now also I should mention, especially since it's in the border, we're going after Sudowoodo today, who's been blocking up multiple paths. He's been a real pain in the tuchus for people around Johto, and we're going to find out how to move him. We're not going to go for a Falcon Punch! Maybe a watering can instead. So, before you come to this area, the reason I am not going to show it is because the footage was lost. But before you come to this area, you'll want to stop at the building next to Whitney's gym. That's the flower shop. And before you could get your City of Flowers there, because Shaman wasn't introduced, you can find a Squirtle watering can. Or Squirt can. I don't know if it's actually a Squirtle watering can, but I'd like to assume so. It's vital to moving this tree. It's funny because back in the day when I played this game for countless hours under my covers with the little Game Boy Advance light, the clamshell design attached that always fell when the blankets would fall on it. You know, back in those days I didn't know what it would take to move Sudowoodo. I thought maybe if I kept just clicking on him, eventually he's going to get annoyed enough to battle me. Also, I didn't realize he was a rock-type Pokemon either. The noobish days of Pokemon. Always entertainingly humorous when you look back on them. Another fond memory that I have at this area specifically was on a different save file I had because I had multiple ones from playing it to death, my Crystal cartridge. The internal battery ran dry many times. So on one of my save files, I was actually visiting my cousin in Long Island, and we were taking a trip to the beach so we could watch the reintroduction of some sea turtles into the ocean. It was an aquarium program that was sponsored by one of the local aquariums there. I don't remember exactly which one, but it was pretty awesome. Saw some leatherback, about 3 leatherback turtles, and then just the normal, everyday kind of patterned sea turtle. I don't know if I'm sure there's a scientific term for it, but the ones that you'd see on any Caribbean getaway postcard. There was one of those that was being released too. And it was really epic at that age to see something so huge come out of the ocean or out of this tank back into the ocean. It's really mind-boggling and pretty cool that they came up with a sea turtle Pokemon, Caracasta, for me to now train up with a Sudowoodo in my team. I wasn't playing my game during the event, but up until then, all the way the drive over there, I was playing and caught a Sudowoodo. I will warn you this though, be sure to save here, and especially if you have the watering can. Because now, we're gonna battle Sudowoodo. Okay, sorry about that. Jump cut, got the watering can, and now we're going to get Sudowoodo. Yeah, it's a squirt bottle, but I think in later generations of the Pokemon game it turned into Squirtle bottle. Trees not liking to be watered? You know, we could have solved all this by just whipping our dicks out and pissing on it. Well, of course, can't assume that you're male. Wild Sudowoodo! So be sure to save before fighting Sudowoodo because he's the only one in the game. And even though I've never actually trained him, I think he's a funny Pokemon. I like how animated he is and the fact that he's a dancing tree. He's a tree that's trying to be, I guess, on the DL, but meanwhile he's dancing all around. And what is with his leaves? They're kind of like circular green orbs. I don't know what kind of tree you're supposed to be, but you might be better on an alien world, because you're not convincing me. I'm going to be very cautious here in attacking Sudowoodo, though. I could easily knock him out with my water gun. Easily. Don't get a critical hit. But he's a very defenseful Pokemon. So I suppose if you are having a wall lack on your team at this point in the game, you could pick up Sudowoodo. He learns some interesting moves too. Mimic, for one, could be used as an effective strategy against the next gym, which is going to be a Ghost-type gym run by the gym leader Morty, up in Ecruteak City. And what you could do, since he's a Rock-type Pokemon, he's not going to be getting much damage from these Ghost types, but they'll keep trying to use Lick and Nightshade, maybe Bite even, and then that's your opportunity to use Mimic and then throw their ghosty moves right back on them. Because ghost moves are super effective against other ghosts. And another useful move would be Low Kick too, because it has the chance of causing flinching. Okay, not very effective because it's a fighting type move on Prince Dozo. Did I ever tell you guys the story about why his name is Prince Dozo? I think I did, but I'm just going to rehash it. But he's called Prince Dozo because I have an EV-trained Slowking that I call King Dozo. What's Dozo? Well, there's a band that I like to listen to called Pussifer. It's a side project by Maynard James Keenan, who is the headliner of Tool. He's the singer. And it's pretty awesome, dark, malevolent type music that you might want to check out. Very atmospheric and great vocals, too. So that's why he's Prince Dozo. But anyway, back to Low Kick. Having a flinching effect is really a good advantage. Now, I'm not sure, though, if Low Kick is affected in the way that it is today, how it's dependent on the Pokemon's weight for how much damage it does. Just by the looks of how much damage Mr. Poof is taking here... Oh, wow, never mind. Shit, he had one Low Kick that didn't do much damage, and then the next one freaking almost knocks us out. Get in your ball! Sudowoodo! Oh, damn it. It appeared to be caught. I suppose that, when fighting Sudowoodo, if you wanted to... Actually, no, I guess you can't. Never mind, I take that back. I was going to say, get some heavy balls from Kurt. But unfortunately, this big rock tree is blocking our way to all the black apricorns. So we can't even get heavy balls. Oh, man. It's funny that Pokemon are caught in balls. I'm sorry. It is just too freaking funny. I'm sure that when the Japanese were coming up with the concept of Pokemon, they were like, alright, now, we catch these creatures, how can we do it? What if I just chuck my balls at him? And they yucked it up, but after the meeting that was mostly drunken at a bar, and they got sober, they realized, wait a second. That was a hilariously innocuous, funny idea that we can do. Chuck your balls at him. Nobody will know about that. So maybe they did that. Maybe not. But who cares? We got Sudowoodo. Man, just his name, Sudowoodo, is so freaking funny. Sudowoodo. It works because pseudo, P-S-E-U-D-O, hope I spelled that right. Pseudo, meaning fake. He's the imitation tree Pokemon, so Sudowoodo, the fake wood. That's what it would literally translate out to. Very appropriately named, and one of my most favorite funny Pokemon of the Johto season. So now our route is cleared, but we're not going to continue on to the left. We're going to do a little bit of backtracking because we don't have enough time to take on the next trainer. And like I said, any trainer battles that were going to happen in this episode, I wanted to keep at full speed, not extra speed. So we're going to do the right thing and choose the more honorable Fallout Path Tree of Goodness and deliver the Spearow to this poor fat man who needs to know that there's another route on the side of Dark Cave. Now, since Crystal didn't incorporate any kind of morality tree for you to work your way up, it doesn't matter what you do in this game, if you keep the Pokemon or if you give it to him. The only thing you're going to miss out on if you don't give the Pokemon to him is an item. You can also look at the mail and he won't notice that you've opened it, which is kind of odd because if you have a closed letter and then you received it with all tearing on it, wouldn't you kind of be suspect of something fishy? I don't know. So, it doesn't matter if you keep the Pokemon, but my recommendation is Spearow so common, just go for the item. I'll see you guys in the next episode.